And the only advice that I can really give, stay on that stage no matter what life throws at you.
Persistence, yeah.
Yeah, just stay on the stage, man. Stay on the stage.
You have to trust the process.
Yeah,
as long as you're putting in the work.
Yeah, please trust the process, because I've lost everything to the point where, my family thought I was on drugs. Because why don't you never have no money? Because I used to, when I was producing shows, I used to put my whole checks from my 9 to 5 into my shows.
That's good.
Yeah, and
a lot of people are afraid to take those types of risks.
I wasn't. I wasn't. It was like every month, boom, boom, boom. And I remember one time I put like $1,200 into a show, and
it's probably a great show though.
It was a great show. Yeah. Left out with $12 because I had to pay everybody. You pay.
Well, you had the satisfaction of the great show.
Mm-hmm. That was my.
It's an investment.
Yeah, and that was like my high though, of just waking up and still knowing that I had a full room of people laughing of the comments that I booked. And they enjoyed the show from beginning to the end. So I got my satisfaction from that.
I mean, I love people.
Yeah.
I love people. I love being around people.
Mm-hmm.
They make me feel uncomfortable.
Yes, the same. Yeah, it's that awkward balance. I just feel like I'm just awkward though too. That's why I say I'm a cool, awkward black dad. I accepted that at the age of 32. That's me, and yeah, just run with it.
Yeah, well, you do a good job with it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good,
yeah.
I've seen you on a lot of stages I'd like to be on.
Oh yeah. That's what I was telling him. Like I've been doing it for 13 years though.
Wow.
Yeah. So started when I was 20, dropped out of college, and it was just like I gotta make this work.
Yeah.
Gotta make this work.
Where are you doing it?
And I used to produce shows at the Idiot Box. I think it was like third Sundays when they were at the other location downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was before I got into
college. Yeah. I used to do shows as of like, I think the last show I did there was like 2021.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty recently then.
Yeah. I shot my special, the Have You Seen My Hairline special there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Jenny has stories, like so many stories. Cause everybody was there except for me. Like I got there right when it was time for me to get on stage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I was like, everybody, I got a host, I got my feature there.
Well, yeah, it's your production, your night. So
yeah,
seems like you timed it just right.
Yeah, I did. Jenny played, don't do that no more.
It made her worry.
Yeah, everybody like, where's he at? Where's he at? Like, guys, I'm here, just looking for my hairline.
What do you? Anything you're working on right now? Any new shows, projects?
Yeah, I'm the cast and talent coordinator for a TV show, Pure Comedy Labs. And so I casted all of season 2. They renewed my contract for season 3.
Where's that shot in?
Right now, season 2 was shot in Fort Mills, South Carolina.
Okay.
Season 3, they're gonna be shooting in Chicago and I think somewhere in Arizona. Yeah, so I still got to get the details from that one.
Fort Mills basically Charlotte, right?
Yeah. So they shot season 1 and 2 at a studio down there. I was there for season 2. Season 1, I think I was booked somewhere, and I was supposed to actually perform on season 1. End up booking, I forgot who I booked, Don Garrett and Christian Johnson.
Okay.
And
I've heard of Don Garrett.
Yeah, and season 2, they need a casting talent coordinator, and I was already referring comments, and the guy who hired me, Nick Lewis, that's who I used to feature for.
Okay.
And he's been doing it for like 30 years.
What's the show about?
It's a stand-up comedy show.
Okay.
It's set up like Def Jam, Comic View, but it's just clean comedy. You ain't never seen clean comedy like this before. So we got the premiere. We premiered at the Spin Awards in Atlanta, October 12th.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be dope. What else do I got?
Are you on the show any?
Yeah. So funny part, do you know Paul Snyder? He's out of Charlotte. Yeah.
I've heard of the name though.
Yeah. He couldn't. I think his flight got delayed or something, so he couldn't fly in. So they was like, we don't have a stand-in, and it was me. So
nice.
yeah. So I got to get my first TV credit on camera and off camera. So I got
that's
that
cool.
production credit too. So it was dope though. I like the business though.
Yeah.
So just being that liaison between the production and the comments. I really learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of.
That's sort of a hybrid format too. That's like a cross between film and comedy.
Yep.
So I started in acting. That's
Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing a little acting now. So
yeah, that's good. That's good.
I really want to focus on that in like 2024 though.
Okay.
More acting.
I mean, they're definitely synergistic art forms. There's because when I started comedy or stand up, a lot of the stuff I learned from acting translated into stand up.
Have you done improv?
Yeah, I've done some improv.
Okay.
I went to a good acting school in Charlotte. Actually.
Okay.
And at the Actors Lab, which now
I heard of
now
that.
it's Dorch Studios. My friend Pat took over that franchise.
Okay.
And it's a really good school.
Yeah.
The other Actors Labs are out in on the West Coast.
Okay. Oh wow. So that's official.
Yeah, it's a good school.
Yeah. I need to look into that.
Yeah.
I was staying in Charlotte for like 9 years.
You should look into Dorch Studios. Shout out to my buddy Pat.
Okay.
Pat Dorch, he's a great actor and a really good coach. Yeah, good instructor.
Cool.
Some big things down there, but yeah, a lot of that helped me when I started doing comedy. I really like comedy better than acting.
Yeah.
I love acting too, but
Yeah.
comedy is stand up is my own art. It's my own writing, my own performance, and you can do it all the time.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yep.
It's a lot harder to get acting gigs than comedy gigs.
Yeah.
And then when I do comedy or when I do acting gigs, I feel like it still feels like a job.
Yeah.
And I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm used to kind of doing my own thing and creating my own opportunities. And with acting, it's like I'm doing other people's art. I'm working on their time. I'm kind of on the clock. It's a strange feeling.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it because it's like the best version of a job.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a job. Whereas comedy, I feel like I'm still self-employed.
Yeah. I'm being entrepreneur. Really since the beginning, my production company is Goof Camp.
Okay.
Giving others opportunities first. That's what the acronym stands for.
That's great.
Do you know who Ryan Davis is?
Ryan Davis? Yeah. I was on a show with him a couple months ago.
Okay. Yeah. He started off with Goof Camp, Christian Johnson, who else? Austin Cook. He's an actor now and director. Trey Pone, he has a comedy club in Lumberton, Pee-wee's Comedy Club, and it got burned down.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 weeks before it opened. I read
about that. I
think. We were going to do a Goof Camp reunion show there in October.
Did he rebuild it or?
He's getting the money right now.
Yeah.
He just had put a lot of money in the day before it got burned down.
Do you have insurance or no?
He had a meeting with State Farm that morning.
That's horrible.
The representative was like, it's nothing we can really do now. But so just timing of everything. And the club was connected to another building that got burned down as well. So I hate it for him. I said, I don't know what you're supposed to be learning right now, but
well, maybe if the landlord had property insurance, they're gonna have the building rebuilt. They could potentially rebuild his space the way you had it.
I hope so, cause I watched him he literally was building that for a whole year, from the stage, everything. That was really him.
It's tough to go into a business like that too. I'm also a business consultant. So,
okay.
When somebody has a startup like that, it's really difficult because if you have to build it as you go, you don't really have the resources to deal with these big surprises, but also you're sort of winging it, and which it works out sometimes, and especially with more creative projects, it can, but it's still tough. Because,
I know the city, they donated the theater, so he's able to do the show once a month show at the theater until we can get money to build it back up. So
at least he can build a following.
Yeah,
and then move into a space.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
it's cool. I hate it for him though, but he'll get over it.
So are you from North Carolina or South Carolina?
Yeah. From Greensboro.
Oh, you're from Greensboro.
Yeah, born
Oh,
and raised.
Nice.
Yeah, crazy that I ended up back here.
That's funny. Well, the world's small now.
Yeah.
Everything's digital, so you don't have to be in a specific area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know in comedy it helps to have access to big markets.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd like to, maybe another year or two when I have more time.
Yeah.
Maybe plan more travels just to go to some of the better markets, like go to Atlanta some, go to Austin, maybe go up to New York some, and
I'm going to Austin in November. Never been. So we're doing Cap City Comedy Club.
Okay, I've heard it's awesome out there.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I fell in love with Dallas. I almost didn't come back.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of places. It's my first time going, which I still can't believe. Honestly, I can't believe that I am at some of these cities, but I don't take it for granted.
Well, you've been doing it for 13 years, dude. That's
yeah.
I mean, you're in it.
Yeah. That's what I say. I tell people I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep.
That's what you do now.
Yeah. Like really, this is what I do.
That's great though. As an artist, man, that's the best thing you can ask for is just if you can just create your art for a living and make a living doing it, and pay your bills.
That's what I like. I feel like I learned. I figured out what my purpose was during COVID, and I feel like my purpose is create joy and opportunity. If I can do that every day, and I transition tonight, I've done my job.
That's great, man. That's why we created the studio.
Yeah, which is dope. This is very, very dope.
Yeah, it is crazy. When I was sitting here, I can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah, man. Nice. How long did it take for y'all to build?
Well, when we first decided to do the studio, me and Daniel, this room was just like an old garage space, and I used to own half of this building, but then we closed the business that used to be a dealership, and then I sold my half of the building to Daniel, and so we leased this space from the real estate company.
Okay.
And but I just came in at first. It was we just decided to lay it out for our show, the Creative Businessmen.
Yeah.
And so that was just this side of the studio, and it took me I think it took me like 3 months to build the studio out, and then it just evolved. Because the whole point of the studio was nobody knew who me and Daniel were, and we knew it would take time to get some traction and start to build a following and subscriber base. We also always wanted to produce other shows in the studio too, and other types of content, and just create a cool creative space to create art. And so I met Eric a few years ago, and we started producing his show. Never Been Happier.
Yeah.
and then Tom. Tom Simmons' show, Dumbest Tom in the Room.
Yeah.
And then we produce sketches, and we want to do comedy specials. We produced one comedy special. We produced Annie's special.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And then and we'll produce many more. And then and the space is constantly evolving. It's just we kind of just let it do what it's organically doing.
Yeah.
And the channel's finally got some traction.
So I've been watching. I'm a fan. Like I'm a legit fan. So I'm excited. I got up this morning. I'm like, hey, today's the.
I know we had talked about having you on a couple years ago. I think.
Yeah.
But now's probably the best time because now we actually have a decent following and stuff.
So I'm also a tour manager. So for the TV show Pure Comedy Labs, I was the tour manager last year, and then they renewed my contract. So.
Who produces that show? Is it a network?
Yeah,
production?
Red Level Entertainment and Uscott Entertainment. They're the partners of Pure Comedy Labs, the actual brand.
Are they what city are they out of?
Nick Lewis is in Georgia right now, but he was based out of Charlotte.
Atlanta's the biggest film market in the world now, or in the U.S. anyway.
Yep. And then Red Level Entertainment. They're based in Chicago and I'm trying to think of it's a city in Arizona. Um,
Phoenix, maybe?
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know why that didn't pop in my head.
There's only a couple big ones out there.
Yeah, so they came together, and the tour last year was it. I mean, I could kind of consider it like a chitlin circuit tour.
Okay.
We were doing either like small churches or like these small towns, and we had a ranch who signed on. And we used to do outdoor shows monthly. But this year we're in theaters, and they did the Greensboro Coliseum 2 months ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How many people came out to that?
I want to say it was like 500 to 600 people.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah,
So the shows are growing. Yeah.
Yeah. We casted J. Anthony Brown, who's on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Oh wow.
As one of the hosts for season 3. So
Nice.
I think that's gonna be dope.
So is it sort of like America's Got Talent?
No,
kind of?
it's not. Because we do the auditions for it beforehand, before we actually shoot, and then I go through the selections with my team, and then I get final approval from the executive producers of who they want. But they let me know exactly, we need they want 5 white guys. They need 3 young black guys. They want a lot of female representation for season 3 though.
So it's kind of like Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's been a dope experience though, especially to be in position to get comments, put money in comments pockets as well. Because when we were doing the tour, we were paying more than what the comedy clubs are paying. So we're paying more than the average market. And you're going home with more money than what you would make on the average weekend. So
more like actors pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I took pride into that. And I could have booked myself on certain shows, but I tried to book the comments. Because technically I was on season 2. So I should have really, there's some shows I really did want to do, but,
I mean,
play my part.
Get out there though.
Yeah.
Don't be too humble.
Yeah. So it's dope because Christian Johnson, that's who I feature for now. He did season 1 of Pure Comedy Laughs.
Okay.
And it's crazy how he blew up because last year around this time, he only had 7,000 followers. And I remember him calling me. It was just like, bruh, I don't know why these videos aren't like clicking. Like he was like, this video is gonna be the one, and it wouldn't get no views, and it just happened like overnight. He did this character Nathaniel and had the slogan, "Oh, my stomach's bubbling," or "Lord have mercy."
Yeah.
And now the whole country knows him as Mr. Lord have mercy and my stomach bubbling. And
That's
he just hit 1
amazing.
million followers 2 months ago.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And I'm looking at my 7,000 followers, and I keep on telling myself it could be different in a year from now as long as you stay consistent.
That's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to keep feeling crazy.
Yeah. Feel crazy. I tell people, everybody asks me for advice, and the only advice that I can really give, stay on that stage no matter what life throws at you.
Persistence, yeah.
Yeah. Just stay on the stage, man. Stay on the stage.
You have to trust the process.
Yeah,
as long as you're putting in the work.
Yeah, please trust the process, because I've lost everything to the point where, my family thought I was on drugs. Because why don't you never have no money? Because I used to, when I was producing shows, I used to put my whole checks from my 9 to 5 into my shows.
That's good.
Yeah, and
A lot of people are afraid to take those types of risks.
I wasn't. I wasn't. It was like every month, boom, boom, boom. And I remember one time I put like $1,200 into a show, and
It's probably a great show though.
it was a great show.
Yeah.
Left out with $12 because I had to pay everybody. You pay.
Well, you had the satisfaction of the great show.
Mm-hmm. That was my.
It's an investment.
Yeah, and that was like my high though, of just waking up and still knowing that I had a full room of people laughing of the comments that I booked. They enjoyed the show from beginning to the end, so I got my satisfaction from that.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's a good entrepreneurial attitude,
Yeah.
mentality, because business is like that too. You have to invest a lot up front. And, when I'm working with clients, a lot of times they get discouraged because their business is slow, or or they don't want to invest in their business. I'm like, wait, you have to.
You got to.
You have to. And you have to. You have to suffer to succeed. And you have to experience losses too.
Yeah,
that's the best lesson is the loss.
Yeah, that's what the loss. But loss after loss is like, when am I supposed to be learning? I'm supposed to be learning something.
Well, you learn how to not lose.
Yep. So, I did do like a lot of budget cuts because I had an accountant, and my accountant was just like, you're spending way too much. But I wasn't looking at it on the business end. I was looking at it as like the actual comic or the artist. Like, we need this, I need that, I need this. So yeah, now I do a show where I put no money into it, like One to Laugh Wednesdays. I do it once a month at the Artist Block. Okay. The venue was sponsored for, and the DJ is my iPad. So I just learned how.
You just got you became more efficient. After you've done it so many times.
Exactly. And then
the iPad's not free.
Yeah, exactly. iPad
you already
isn't
have
free.
the stuff that early on you were spending all this money on this equipment and these things you need, but now you have these things.
Exactly.
So the cost of operation drops.
Yeah, it did. It dropped.
And the success of the operation increases.
Yeah. Which now I was telling Seth, like, I'm loving, like, we just had the show this past Wednesday, and it's a new crowd, and I'm just like, how did y'all hear about it? And friends are telling people they heard about it from a coworker. And I promoted it as free laughs, free food. And the free food, I ordered 2 Domino's medium pieces. Yeah, it used to be $5.99, but they went up to $6.99. I'm like, I may just get one. So yeah, I love it though, man. I love it. Especially, it's my way of giving back though. Because I'm not hands-on in the community this year like I want to be. So I say I can use my gift, give out free laughs, and come out, get some free food while it lasts, and forget about what's going on in life. Yeah, because usually I do. I forget about all the bills that I hadn't paid yet.
Yeah, that's good.
And I collect donations. I tell people, if you want to leave something, please, because it goes to my nonprofit, Keep the Kids Off the Pole Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my daughter.
I have a daughter too.
Yeah. That's what I was telling him. I just paid my last month of daycare this past Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah. She's going to pre-K.
Yeah, mine just started first grade.
Oh. Yeah. How is that?
Oh, she loves it. Yeah.
Yeah. I cried. We went to open house.
It's like a stress that you've never experienced. Having a kid is like the never-ending anxiety.
Yeah, it is,
and it just compounds.
Yeah, and she's so animated now. I think it's because her mother. Her mother was actually my co-star in a web series that we did in Charlotte.
Oh, that's cool.
Me and Nick Lewis, we co-wrote a comedy web series called Say Uncle. And I played his nephew, and he was my uncle who used to give me bad advice. And the mother of my daughter played my crazy ex-girlfriend. And it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a what's the term?
Definitely foreshadowing because we were definitely I had just met her, like literally, like when we start shooting.
Yeah.
But she gives me like that Tiffany Haddish feel.
That's
okay. And
is she a comic or is she an actress still or?
She's a mom. She's a mom now. Yeah.
You can do both.
Huh?
You can do both though.
Yeah. I think she's, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in time. When we broke up, though, we went to the Idiot Box and went to the open mic, and we both roasted each other.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's good. You guys have a good relationship with each other.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It can be better. So over time, I think once the dough starts rolling in,
Yeah. Take that pressure off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Because, yeah,
pressure changes everything.
Yeah. Which I love it though, man. I love it. I always shout her out at my shows. I would say my bald-headed baby mama, and I tell people I'm not talking about her because she after we broke up, she cut her hair,
Oh.
And we go to the same barber now. It's crazy. Like we do. Shout out to the Urban Renaissance in Greensboro. But yeah. So
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
What now I've seen you at some big comedy clubs recently.
Mm-hmm.
Are you what do you have coming up? What shows do you have?
I'll be in Cali next week.
Okay.
Doing a whole run from the 26th to September 4th. I'll be doing Burbank, California.
Nice.
Tommy T's in Oakland, Pleasanton, California, San Diego, and doing a couple shows in LA. So
Great.
Yeah.
That's exciting, dude.
Yeah. And I hadn't been. Last time I was in LA was 2017. So
You haven't been out there in a while either.
yeah. So it's been a minute. And I feel like I'm funnier from last time I was out there too.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
that was what, 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
Yeah. No, but I will say I went through that. I went through a period where I just wasn't feeling funny. Like,
Yeah.
I was finding my voice again, and Ryan Davies, he had told me I opened up for him at the Greensboro Comedy Zone last year, and he hadn't seen me perform in a minute, and he had told me after I got off stage, he said, "What happened to you?" he said, "If you're not gonna if you're not gonna tell the joke right, don't tell it at all."
Or you're bailing on some of the
Yeah,
bits?
it was. I was tired of saying the same jokes. I don't resonate with that person no more, you know. And he was just like, "You just got to snap. It's gonna take a snapping point where you just got to snap." And that's what happened earlier this year. Like, because I've been touring since January 19th. I was so broke from December through January because of Christmas, the holidays, and no shows. You know, it's usually like slow during the wintertime for comedy. Sure. And I just got tired of feeling low. Snapped and said I was never gonna feel this low again. And just been booming from January 19th throughout this whole year. I don't even know what show we're on. Probably like 62, like on the tour.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, you know, like it's kind of like that with everything, though. It's like you have to put in all this work, and you're just planting seeds and planting seeds and planting seeds. Like, when is this damn thing gonna grow?
Yeah,
man? Like, and finally you'll have a harvest if you keep doing it. And,
and
and something else I've noticed too in business and art, when I really start hating myself and feel like I just suck and I can't do anything right, that's usually right before something really good happens.
Yep. And that's why I tell myself.
It's like my mind is it's processing something, and I'm about to reach a new level in my craft or in business or, you know, in life. Yeah. But it's everything ebbs and flows and comes in waves. Yeah. You know, so it's so ride the hell out of that wave.
Yeah. That's why I say I tell people like it's up right now, but it could be. You know, I could be at the bottom.
Be low again. Yeah. But it won't be as low as last time.
Exactly. Yeah. But I know what to do to create that wave again. Right. You know, to keep on working. I'm never satisfied. I had to tell myself, this was like last week, because we had like a week off. And I had to tell myself, I was like, bro, you're the person that inspired people. You gotta get back to that. Don't get comfortable. Right. You know, so I went back to I got a formula where I call like and book myself 3 months in advance. But I make calls from 8 to 10 in the morning. Nice. Every morning. And I do like little things, scrolling on Facebook. If I see a comedian posting a flyer, I'm going to find out who the producer is, because if you're doing this monthly, you probably got somebody booked for next month, but you probably need somebody in November. So, you know, make that phone call. Hey, I'm currently touring right now. Trying to see if you got any dates available and try to figure out what the budget is and negotiate that. But if I stay booked 3 months in advance and something do fall off, I still got, you know.
You got plenty of work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can still figure out, can I fill this date again? Right. So usually the deposit's already sent, so I got half of my money. So it's not a complete loss. But just little things like that, that's why I stay working.
That's good, man. So you're constantly on the road now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Because after that, we have our homecoming show on the actual tour at the Charlotte Comedy Zone, September 10th. Okay. And right now we're at 120 tickets sold and hadn't done no promotion.
That's incredible. This far out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get sold out so we can go ahead and add a second show.
Yeah.
Yeah. September 24th will be at Raleigh's Good Nights.
Well, usually comedy shows sell out last minute anyway, don't they? Like the last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the tickets jumped. Like we were nervous about St. Louis and because we only had like 79 tickets and it jumped to 184.
Nice.
Like,
how many seats were there?
It holds like 230.
Okay, so
you
almost packed that out.
Yeah. So and we do off night, so we're doing like Wednesdays and Sundays.
So having that turnout on Wednesday or Sunday is incredible.
Exactly. So and we prove to the comedy clubs if we can sell on the off night, bring us back for a weekend.
Yeah, because you'll fill up a weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're doing a weekend in Atlanta, the 13th and 14th, October 13th and 14th. At Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Okay.
So that week in October is gonna be busy anyway. Because the 12th we got the premiere for Pure Comedy Labs, which is in Atlanta, and then I'll be featuring that whole weekend, the 13th and 14th.
Where can people watch that?
It's gonna be streamed. I will have the streaming link.
Where can they see the first season?
The first season, we're premiering season 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. So the show's not even started yet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep. So we legit been touring just off of utilizing the comedians and the promotion.
Is it going to be a YouTube show or is it going to be?
Nah, right now they're still in talks with different networks right now.
Okay.
So, but it's going to air on TV. They just made that announcement. I got it on my page. But that does premiere October 12th, which I'm excited about that. Because I tell people, season 1 was funny. Season 2 was funnier.
Okay.
So I'm looking to cast season 3.
Well, that's good, as long as it keeps getting better.
Yeah. I'm looking to cast season 3. I want season 3 to top season 1 and 2.
Nice.
And that's going to be hard. Let's see. It's going to air on the Now Network.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So,
and so you guys, you're filming all these. So your shows that you're booking out in these theaters and clubs and stuff are part of the show.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so
you have good venues.
Yeah. But the tour is called Pure Praise Fest. Okay. We're just utilizing the comedians from Pure Comedy Labs. And we partner up with a couple gospel choirs who tours as well. So,
well, that's right. You said it's clean comedy.
Clean comedy.
It's like family oriented.
Yeah,
comedy.
But but you ain't never seen clean comedy like this before. So it's still fun. Clean, but it ain't. We still talk about things that you're able to laugh at, but it's just not as vulgar.
It's more like what you see on like a PG or like a TV series that's a little bit maybe like they're pushing the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah. I know I like to push the boundaries.
Yeah. That's kind of what comedy does.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. If you do it tastefully,
Yeah, you got to do it tastefully. Yeah. You got to do it tastefully. What else is happening in October? Oh, October. So I produced a comedy festival called Laugh Fest back in 2017. Was it 2017? No, 2019. And then in 2020, we were going to do Laugh Fest LA, but COVID happened. So this year we're doing Laugh Fest because we're celebrating 9 years of Goof Camp, giving others opportunities first. And number 9 is the year of completion, and we're going to transition year 10. But the slogan for it is the year of the feature. So we're doing different seminars, educating comics when you do get that opportunity to go on the road, what to do as a feature or as a headliner, and dropping gems on little things when you do these comedy clubs, how it's important for you to count the room to ensure that, our numbers match the club numbers to ensure that
you're getting paid.
Yeah, getting paid correctly, and what not to do. And how you can get kicked off a tour of doing, certain things because you could be a liability instead of an asset. So you always want to ensure that you're an asset when you get the opportunity to go on tour.
At the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and I just want to, educate comments just on the business end though too, because that's how I've been able to grow.
Yeah.
And stay working. I learned the business before, as I started out doing comedy, but I really learned the business.
Yeah. Well, you seem to have a business oriented mind. So
yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of both. I can be really analytical, or I can be really creative.
Yeah.
So I have both of those.
Yeah.
And the transitioning is difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it can be.
Yeah, like if you're having a real stressful business day, or you're really digging in on the business side, you're very analytical, and then you have a show later that night.
Yeah.
You need a couple hours to
digress,
change your thought process. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was my problem. I would say like last year, balancing.
Yeah.
Like being a producer, tour manager, to being the comic, and also being the dad. So yeah. So last year though, I went on an independent tour called the MIA tour. Because I told people I was gonna be missing in action this year, so go ahead and book me now.
Oh yeah.
And this before I even knew I was gonna be on like the biggest national tour I've been on so far in my career. But my daughter's name is Mia, so it was a dedication to my squad too.
Nice.
So the M stood for Mia, the I stood for Ivy, which is her sister, and the A stood for Ava, which is their bald-headed mama. So it was how I paid my child support.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I try to keep everything connected, though.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point to bring up. Is that I try to even on the business side of things, I try to always approach that from a creative perspective.
Yeah.
And then anything else I invest my time into, it needs to somehow fit into the same. I have a lot of crossover with the same things I'm already doing. So because you only have so much time, and creativity is so important to me. So I need to make sure that all the things I invest my time into they're all benefiting and fueling that same creative vibe. That creative goal, those creative goals.
Yeah.
And because you don't want any distractions. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to distract yourself with things, especially if things are going well.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fear thing. Like fear kicks in. It's like, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe, and then that's a distraction. Then then these other things start falling apart.
Yep.
So you have to be careful of those traps.
Yeah. Which I do try to stay focused and keep myself busy. Anytime that I'm away from my daughter, I have to be investing my time into either the craft or just anything. And that's how I really just been on the straight and narrow. The motto is get the bag and go home. Yeah. Yeah. So
and spending time with your family, your kids. So that's a that's a good thing about being an older dad for me.
Yeah.
We didn't have our daughter until I was 36.
Oh, hey, shout out.
Yeah. and so if I were younger, I know I would have missed a lot of her childhood because I was so busy. And I'm still so busy, but I understand how fast the time goes by, and my understanding and perception of time is a lot better now than it used to be. So now I make the time to spend with her.
Yep.
And nothing replaces that time.
Yep.
And I'm still just as productive with the other stuff.
And that's really me. Like a lot of people, they be seeing me like at these cities, but they don't even realize I'm back in Greensboro. Like I was in St. Louis Sunday, and we had like a 6 a.m. flight back into Charlotte. Took the train from Charlotte to Greensboro, and got to pick up my daughter by 4 p.m.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more work and it's more expensive. Yeah. But it's worth it.
Definitely worth it. Yeah. So it's been times where like we did the Orlando Improv, and Christian Johnson, he's a dad too. He got our daughters are the same age, and then he has a 1-year-old son. And I think this was around the time his wife was working, and he stayed at home with the kids to do the videos and all that. So we had to leave. We drove to Orlando right after the show. We had to leave to get back to ensure that he got to his kids and I got to my daughter.
Nice.
So that's the stuff that people don't see.
And that means a lot to your kids,
Oh yeah.
That's for them to see you being productive. You're out here doing it. and you're still making time for them.
Yeah.
So it'll be a huge part of their life.
Oh yeah.
When they grow up.
Yeah, which I'm excited. I get so excited for my daughter's life all the time. Now she's been asking to go to more shows. So
that's cool.
Yeah, the September 10th show she's gonna be at. That's gonna be my guest. So she'll be there.
Nice.
Or whatever.
I can't wait to bring my daughter to shows.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize some of the pictures that I had last year from the MIA tour. It was her taking the pictures.
Oh, nice.
I didn't have a babysitter, so I had to bring her.
That's cool.
So, yeah, that's my little photographer, my little assistant. So, yeah.
That's exciting, yeah. My daughter's real creative, too. She's funny, so I'm excited to see what she does.
Me too.
She gets older.
Everybody's like, you're going to push comedy? I'm like, nah, I just...
Whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, whatever she wants to do, I'm going to be 100% behind her, like, no matter what. So...
Yeah, I just try to give... With my daughter, I just try to create an environment where she has access to a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
And she can explore different ideas and different things, and she finds the stuff she's interested in. Like, she loves to write and draw. Yeah. And so she even said, like, for one of her class, they say, what do you want to do when you grow up? She's like, I want to be a writer and illustrator. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then a doctor, because that's like one of those generic things.
Yeah. That's dope, though. And she's like just now starting first grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a sharp kid, yeah. She's very creative. She's always, since she was probably 4, she's always been like creating these little books. She'll illustrate these stories. Yeah. And she'll create a book, and it's got a narrative, and it's, her and her friends. Like, she's got one called... Don't Call at 3 a.m. or something. Wow. It's like a scary story. It's fun. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. That is so dope.
Y'all and then watching her art improve.
Yeah.
And develop her own style.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. See, that's the best part.
Just have to prevent her distractions are like iPad, the iPad and certain games and stuff. And I'm teaching her, like, it's fine to play these things, but you can't play them too long.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It becomes it starts taking from you. Yeah. Yeah, it's no longer giving you anything, it's taking from you.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, when my daughter's tablet dies, I don't look for the charger.
I have noticed she'll watch these YouTube videos, they're Minecraft videos, and she watches people that are really good at Minecraft, and then she'll go into her game and she'll start building the things she saw. Wow. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it gives her ideas.
Yeah. So, I guess all videos ain't bad.
Yeah. But it depends on the content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I use videos to learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I am. I like to say YouTube University has taught me a lot.
Yeah, seriously. I got into... I started playing guitar when I was 16.
Okay.
It was 96, dude. We didn't have the internet. Yeah. We didn't have any resources. I was poor. So it was just like, I had just enough money to buy a guitar. Yeah. Or guitar and an amp. And I bought it and I played and had some friends that played. And I was just self-taught. I just learned a few chords and then started learning a few things that sounded cool. Yeah. But I never had a guitar instructor or any access to resources that would really teach me how to play. Yeah. I didn't know any really good musicians that I was real close to, and so I just kind of dabbled with it through the years. Yeah. And about, I guess it was the end of last year, I started playing again, and then I started watching some YouTube videos. I was like, man, there's so much information about how to do anything now. Yeah. And now I play every day. And it's because I started playing the drums a few years ago, and
I always wanted to play the drums.
It's fun, dude. And I'll do it. Buy like a cheap electronic drum kit or something, like an Elisa's kit or something. Yeah. And it helped me so much with my creativity because I just made it part of my writing process. So now, like, every night I'll go up and I'll just grab my guitar. Used to I just sit on the drums and just start playing. Yeah. And it gets you in this really creative, open flow state, and it opens your mind up, and it really puts you in that creative place where you can have fun, loose ideas, and it's just a great thing to get you into your writing. And facts. And then I do the same thing with guitar now, and now I'm actually really enjoying playing guitar. Like Like I can actually play the guitar now.
Yeah.
And so it makes it even more pleasurable. So now I'll like play guitar for 2 hours and then I'll stop and write for 2 more hours or 3 hours. So it's I stay up too late, but
I'm starting to write more. I'm starting to write. I stopped writing like years ago.
Well, when I say writing too, it's ambiguous. It's
okay.
It's a lot of it's recording ideas.
Yeah. Okay.
And taking notes. And trying to develop material.
Yeah.
And then once I have the material developed, I'll actually sit down and write it into my set.
Okay.
But it has to go through a process before I even get it into my actual set.
Yeah.
Like I'll have to put it up on stage a few times and start watching it become a real bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I utilize open mics. I tell people, stay on that stage. Hit up an open mic. Yeah. Be uncomfortable. Like
and don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's when you worry about it that it sucks.
Yes.
And if you don't worry about it, then you usually have a good set.
Yeah. Let's let it flow. Let it flow.
Be in the moment.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so hard to do, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's so hard to just be you in the moment, having a conversation with all these people.
And then when you get out stage, you're like, I didn't say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened in Buffalo. I was in Buffalo, New York. It was still a good set, but I was like, they liked me, but I knew like some of my go-to funny jokes I didn't even get to.
Yeah.
Time be going by like real fast.
Yeah, sometimes you have a good set and they like you, but you don't like you.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad you guys liked it, but I hated it.
Yeah, I be so confused. Certain reactions that I get from certain judges, like, oh, really? Y'all really thought that was really funny?
That
didn't even think that. Okay.
Yeah, or you have a bit that it's not finished yet.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's still like a little low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But it still gets laughs, and you kind of hate it because it gets laughs.
Yeah, it's just like, why are y'all laughing?
This is not. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my jokes that I got, which is a true story. I got fired from my job because my granddad. I said my granddad had died twice in a week or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a true story. My granddad's living, but but I didn't know what to say. I was about to get fired. I used to leave early to go to shows or whatever, and I came back to work. My manager was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "My granddad passed away." So
I heard this bit.
Yeah. So I really went to a real life funeral to get the obituary to turn back into work, and it actually ended up being the lady from HR. It ended up being her granddad, and nobody like that's the whole true story. But just when I say that, when she said this is my granddaddy too, that makes that joke like 10 times funnier.
Yeah. And that was true. That's actually that's awesome, man.
It was so I was so committed to keep the job because I needed that job because. Yeah, when I was in Charlotte, my life was just in shambles. So I needed that job because that job was paying for. I had a court case; it was paying for court, and they ended up firing me. I was like, yeah, and the day that I got fired was the day it was raining, and
it's like the walk home in the rain.
Yeah, it was like one of the worst days. I was just like, there has to be a camera somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a cartoon bad day.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah, I was like, y'all really gonna kick me out and it's raining?
It still worked out though.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Sometimes it's better. Sometimes those like, I think with jobs, especially if you're an artist or an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you have to have a job because you got to pay bills.
Yeah.
You have to create a source of income.
Yep.
But sometimes those things can be traps too.
Yeah.
It's the golden handcuff.
Yeah.
Thing, right? It's the comfort.
Yeah.
If you're like, I try to avoid comfort.
Yeah.
If I feel too comfortable that I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I don't like getting comfortable.
No.
And I work the best when I am uncomfortable. That's when I get some of the best projects out.
Yeah.
Do some of my best work.
Yeah, use that anxiety to push you.
Yeah. And that's what I tell people. I tell people though too, be careful what you pray for, because I prayed to do comedy full time, and that's what I wanted to do. And after I lost that job, the case that I was fighting, another company. They had sued me for $54,000 for embezzlement, a cell phone company that I worked for. I'm not gonna say the company, but they sprinted to the courthouse and pressed charges on me. And because I had a pending felony on my record, I couldn't get another 9 to 5, so I had nothing but comedy to rely on.
Yeah.
And my manager at the time, he, that was my star witness because I did everything that I was trained on. I wasn't really stealing phones or anything, but they said the phones were valued at $54,000 that people weren't paying their bills on. And the day of court, I text my manager at the time. I was like, "Hey, I got court. Hey, just come to court, whatever, yada yada." And his mother-in-law texted me back and said, "I'm sorry to be a bearer of bad news, but Daniel was no longer with us."
What?
Yeah, and I said, "Well, can you go get him because I have court and I need him, yada yada." So yeah, he had passed away. Yeah, OD'd and left a letter, but nowhere in that letter was
helped you. Did you come out on the top of that?
Yeah, so like the last I had been fighting that case since 2017. My case was just dismissed in June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I didn't think there was gonna be a way out of that, and the prosecutor surprised me and told the judge, dismiss his case. I ended up representing myself in Superior Court though before that in 2018. Because I felt like nobody wasn't gonna fight for my freedom like I was gonna fight for my freedom.
Right.
And because back in 2018 when I
attorneys
represented,
are really expensive.
Yeah. That's what I found out. I stopped paying my attorney because he didn't have no faith. It was like, bro, what am I paying you for? And so I represented myself. And
you gotta be careful with attorneys because they're part of that system.
Yeah.
So you got to find one that really
is
on your side.
Yeah. Because he had told me that the prosecutor had said, yeah, I could tell that I was a victim of a scam, just like everybody else. I didn't get no money out of the whole situation or anything like that. But back in 2018, from when I did represent myself, that's what, due to a technicality, something was supposed to happen back then that didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
And my case got thrown out. And
Great.
it was so dope because I performed at Stardome the day before, which is in Birmingham, Alabama. So right after we got paid, we headed back to Charlotte because it was in Mecklenburg County, and we got back at like 6 in the morning. I messed around and took a nap and overslept.
Oh no!
Yeah, so they called me. I was in the Uber. They called me. I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Kapp, where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm coming up right now." They're like, "Yeah, I think they gave you the wrong courtroom." And I said, "Oh, is that what it is?"
Yeah, I've been looking.
You were on the top of a good wave. Had a great show.
Yeah,
and then that worked out. Yeah,
that was the day. And like timing though, man. Like I'm on this national tour. I had been dealing with this case this whole time, and my case finally get dismissed.
Before you go past that, that type of stress is such a negative weight.
Yeah.
Like that is, any kind of thing that's out of your control is negative, and not just like a court case, but anything. Like it could be a business issue, it could be a financial issue, just something that you can't really control.
Yep.
And you have to wait for it, or you have to work through it,
Yeah.
and you've got to be creative and do all this other stuff too. It's such a difficult thing to balance.
It was something I internalized because I didn't talk about it. My family didn't even know about it up until now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because it was just something I felt like when I got myself in that situation. Because it was just so odd. I've never been in any type of trouble, but I just feel like certain things in life you're supposed to go through, and can't nobody save you from it. Right. And you can't listen to the naysayers. So I didn't want nobody speaking negatively on my situation or creating scenarios that wasn't going to happen. And I was just like, yeah, this is something that I just got to handle by myself. And
carry your own burden.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
A lot of people didn't even know.
That's awesome, dude. You handled it the right way.
Yeah. And I didn't fold, stayed 10 toes down, and I was just ready. Whatever, was going to happen was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's how I looked at it. But I kept a positive mindset the whole time.
But you also kind of made the right thing happen.
Oh, yeah.
You pushed through it.
Yeah. It was a learning situation.
Right.
I got to see what it felt like being a felon in the United States, because I feel like once you're a felon, like,
That's not good.
yeah, they cut you off. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like
Our whole criminal justice system is a big problem.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be reworked.
Yeah,
Because it's so determined to prosecute people, but it's not. I think our perspective is way off. I think it should be a thing where it should all be based on rehabilitating people.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for nonviolent crimes, and even for violent crimes, you still want to, like, when I see somebody commit a crime, or I see a lot of crime, I try not to focus as much on the individual. I want to know why that person is in that situation. Like what produced this individual? Like what community did they come out of? What were their circumstances that they grew up in, and why did they choose this path?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you look at just crime in general, you'll find that high crime areas are typically poor areas.
Yeah.
And poverty produces crime because there's a lot of pressure. It's like it's almost like a pimple, It's it's just pressure of society, and there it erupts right there, and then you have all this crime. There's nothing wrong with the people. It's just the people are in shitty circumstances.
Exactly.
And if you want to stop the crime, you don't just keep throwing people in prison and cages. You make those areas better.
Yeah.
Like you have to invest in those areas, but instead of wars that we don't need to be in, we need to invest our money into our troubled areas.
Exactly.
And economically depressed communities.
Yeah.
And that'll fix crime, but I don't know if there's as much benefit in that. It's not as profitable.
Yeah.
And there's also a thing, I guess, unfortunately, currently our lower class is increasing. So poverty is actually growing, which is insane. There's no reason that should happen today with our technological abilities.
Yeah.
And just the financial strength this country has in general, it should be the opposite. We shouldn't have poverty.
Yeah.
But there's also a thing where if people are less capable, they're also more easily controlled. So it's a power. I think it's a power issue.
Which I honestly, like, throughout the whole experience, I just showed gratitude because, for one, I proved to myself I really don't need like a corporation to back me. I can really, because everything that I did was I had to get up and make something happen. I had to create something out of thin air in order to generate, some money. So it put me in a situation, an uncomfortable situation, but it showed me who I really am. Like, I would have never thought, like 20-year-old Jiwan would never thought, for when I would be in a system, but I'll be able, I know how to create my own tours.
Yeah.
Like, ever since then, from 2017, I did the Have You Seen My Hairline tour. And a lot of people didn't know that came from me being so stressed. My hairline was on life support, and I couldn't afford a haircut, so I actually went bald throughout that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I went from that to Embracing the Grind. That was a whole nother tour that I did. Because I just had to embrace the grind. You got to embrace the good and bad from the grind. And then from Embrace the Grind, that's when my daughter was conceived, and I did the I Got a Baby, I Need Some Money tour. Yeah, yeah, so I ran that tour like from 2019 to 2020. Then I started featuring for other people that kept me working.
Yeah.
Like internet sensations like Shirley King, Brian Davis, Nick Lewis. Nick Lewis says I've been featuring for him since 2016, and that's who he really kept me working and dropped a lot of gems. Okay. Like the main gem that I always tell people, he taught me you have to be black people famous before you be white people rich. And he had told me that because we used to go to like these small towns in Orangeburg, South Carolina, or I forgot where, it's a little town in North Carolina. But we used to have to go to these little towns, and you have to make these people laugh first before you think you're about to be on TV or anything like that.
Sometimes those small towns are fun, though.
Yeah, they are. Those were the funniest shows.
Yeah.
I remember we did a show. We drove 3 hours for it to only be 5 people there. And that was like one of my best shows ever. Cause we still perform like it's 1,000 people in there.
Well, I drove 2 hours a week ago for a show up in Virginia, and we had 3 people there.
Oh yeah,
it was a fun show.
Yeah,
though. Like those 3 people had a great time.
Yes, those are the funniest shows. It's a VIP show.
yeah, it was. It was like,
intimate.
Yeah, very intimate, exclusive.
And those are the hardest shows too. But if you can, I just had the attitude was like, I'm not going to be disappointed because there aren't many people here. I'm just going to give these people a good time.
Yeah, because I always say it's not about the people who didn't show up; it's about the people who's in the room.
Yeah.
So, those people deserve to laugh.
Yeah. It was a good workout.
Yeah. That's why I like doing rooms like that. I like doing bar rooms. Where performing in bars where people are talking the whole time, because like being in the clubs, like in Nashville, I did Zanies and they were talkative. Again, I'm the host and feature, so they don't care about me.
Yeah.
So they were talking, but I'm used to doing bar shows. I didn't let that get to me.
Didn't throw you off.
Yeah. I still did my time eventually till they quiet down and I got everybody's attention.
And you want them. Yeah, that's good.
So,
you did the host. That's what the host does.
Yeah. And I hate hosting though. That's the ironic thing.
Hosting's hard, man.
Yeah, because I like to do my time, get off stage, and then I want to be able to enjoy the show. But I feel like hosting, you can't. You're responsible for the mood of the crowd. You got to keep that show going. And then usually, I still don't get to enjoy the show once the headliner's up there, because usually I'm either setting up the merchandise or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or counting the room or, talking to the manager.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about your issue with your job and stuff, I would say to young people, if you are an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, or if you want to be an artist, which is an entrepreneur, you want to do your own thing and create your own construct, then I would say, if you do work a job or work for someone else, give them 100% and invest 100% into that, because it'll help you once you are able to be on your own. Yeah, it'll help you have those have that work ethic and understand priorities and responsibilities and stuff like that, and it'll benefit you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for you, you're a sharp dude, and you got into a negative situation. Yeah, but you were smart enough to get out of it. Yeah, and capable of handling it, and looking back, you realize where you made mistakes and stuff, and but you didn't. You weren't. There was no ill intent behind what you were doing. You just made some expensive mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But since other people are watching this, try not to make those mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't make those mistakes. But and also like what you were saying. Every job that I did have or whatever, I utilized the skills that I learned in those jobs.
Yeah, you always learn something.
Yeah, and like that's why I'm able to manage so good.
Right.
Just being responsible for a store, opening up a store. Now, it was a time when I was working for that cell phone company, and my manager was on vacation. He called me. He said, "Where the hell are you at?" Because the store had needed to be open, and I did a show the night before. I think it was like in Virginia. Drove back, messed around, went to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always try to take a quick nap, and those naps turn into 12 o'clock.
Well, I mean, you're just pushing so hard. Dude.
Yeah.
Your mind will just shut down sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your body.
It will.
Well, dude, I think we're out of time, but man, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yes, man. I'm honored to be here, man. I love what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
Shout out to Seth, the producer, man, and just the whole team. So yeah.
Shout out to you, man. You're doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, y'all can follow me at No Cap Comedy. That's KNOWKAPP and then KOMEDY. It's the new KKK because we're gonna lynch you with the truth with these jokes. And then also Goof Camp. You could do hashtag Goof Camp, and you can see everything that I've been doing for since the beginning, 2010. But giving others opportunities first. We've been doing that since 2014. And yeah, be on the lookout for my animated series Paper Thugs, which will probably be dropping at the beginning of 2024.
Nice,
because
cool.
I'm a thug on paper.
And the other the big show too.
Oh yeah. We got our homecoming show, September 10th at the Charlotte Comedy Zone. Also, Laugh Fest will be at the end of October. I'm having my 33rd birthday roast. My grandmother's gonna be roasting me, which is gonna be dope as well. Cool. And that's gonna be in Greensboro. And yeah, there's so many other things. We got the premiere of Pure Comedy Labs, which is October 12th at the Spin Awards in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, keeping up with Cap, y'all. Y'all keep up with me on my social media. And I follow back too. So
awesome. Doing big stuff, dude. It's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Hey.
Bye, guys.